fucking pro-Trump. He's just a grifter, okay? So if you hear his statements here, amidst like him bringing up gay, trans-loving furries, or amidst his statements about how he loves putting the body parts of their children in trash bags as they try to go to the hospital, and then motherfuckers would turn around and say, saying this is genocide, sweetie, that's anti-Semitic, that's blood libel. Yeah, motherfucker, that doesn't actually make people go, oh my God, is this blood libel? I gotta stop saying that. Holy shit. Oh no, I should stop being anti-Semitic. That makes people go, okay, I guess blood libel is not a fucking fake thing then. This is what a lot of these people don't understand. It doesn't make people stop and it doesn't make people stop dead in their tracks and immediately stop criticizing Israel. It makes people go, okay, you're cynically weaponizing anti-Semitism in this instance where I can clearly and visibly see Israel doing horrifying war crimes, okay, starving children, and you're calling that blood libel. That's going to make me really reconsider what I know about blood libel. Okay? Yeah, man, I can hate the United Arab Emirates without being Islamophobic. Exactly. This argument is so fucking stupid. Oh, I can't believe you're calling into question the United Arab Emirates' unlimited support for the RSF, the Rapid Support Forces in Sudan. Oh, you're being quite Islamophobic, sweetie. Get the fuck out of here. It's so stupid.
Actually uncovering a conspiracy or effectuating a solution. They are claiming a special provenance to information they won't let you see, which builds their power and leaves you with none. They are also implicating in their speculation actual human beings, good human beings, like Kash Patel and Dan Bongino and Pam Bondi, and yes, the President of the United States, even if they're too cowardly to say President Trump's name. And that means you won't trust those good people in the future. You haven't gotten smarter, you've just been manipulated.
The only reason why he likes Trump is because Trump is still dick riding Israel, for the record. Okay? And he is the singular force that's holding this entire coalition together. The moment that Trump either turns on Israel, which is never going to happen, obviously, let's be real, or the moment that Trump passes or can't hold the coalition together, Ben will be the first to knife him in the gut. Okay? Ben Shapiro was anti-Trump. Ben Shapiro vehemently argued against Donald Trump. This is the reason why I get really mad at liberals who fucking act like Ben Shapiro is a rational conservative. Donald Trump and all this shit, and you think, well, at least he's tackling anti-Semitism and the conspiratorial mindset of the right nowadays. This must mean he's rational. You're a fucking dupe, okay? You're a mark. You're a rube. You're a sucker. Wake up.
When forced to demonstrate their evidence, these same people will often refuse to provide it. They'll claim ignorance. They'll pretend they're outside the system. And they don't have access to actual information. You know, they're just asking questions. But many of these same people have direct pipelines to informational sources. So, for example, if Tucker wants answers to his questions about, say, Jeffrey Epstein, he could call the Vice President of the United States. He's quite close with him. But he won't, because that might undermine the empty speculation. None of this means there aren't actual real...
Nope, there's truth to what he's saying here as well. But the reason why he doesn't do that is because he wants to keep being friends with the vice president, just like the same reason as to why you keep bringing up Donald Trump, even though we know you fucking despise him because you're a violinist who grew up in Los Angeles and went to UCLA and then Harvard, and you are very much the effete liberal, except for your worldview, your horrifying, morally repugnant worldview. Every other aspect of your life, you are libtarded through and through. You despise the anti-intellectual right-wingers. You don't like Donald Trump. You've never liked Donald Trump, but you have to sit there and act like you fucking love Donald Trump all the goddamn time. Nah, he likes him now. He's hollowed out. No, the saddest thing I ever saw was Ben Shapiro trying to fucking grift with like a maximum right-wing perspective, demanding Derek Chauvin get released or pardoned. Okay? That's when I was like, this motherfucker's heart is not in it, okay? He was like, hey, guys, I know everyone keeps saying I'm a Jew, and also I love Israel, and no one wants to watch me anymore. But look, I'm being racist. Come on. Yeah, Derek Chauvin. We need to release him now. Please, can you watch me? And that video got like 50,000 views. Come on. I hate black people. Come on. Remember how good we had it when we all hated black people and transgenders? Can we go back to that? Can we not hate Jews, please? I don't like it. I'm feeling under attack. Quite pathetic right-wing influencers recasting Ben Shapiro as a truth teller now that parts of MAGA go anti-Semitic and conspiratorial. Shapiro nurtured them and tolerated racism, including against leftist Jews. He was fine with it until they turned on Israel. Yup. Yeah. Remember all the good times we had? I also hate seeing black people in television commercials. Remember that? Come on, we hate Muslims, right? Fuck you, Ben.
Conspiracies in the world, of course there are. But actual conspiracies require actual evidence. Yes, there was a Russiagate conspiracy, and we know the names of the people involved and what they did. We know Hillary Clinton and Fusion GPS and James Comey and Loretta Lynch and Adam Schiff. We know all of those people. Yes, there was a COVID-19 conspiracy. We know that Anthony Fauci worked to shut down alternative solutions from people like Jay Bhattacharya. But when people posit a conspiracy and then provide you no evidence...
Again, he's... Dude. Rational right-winger, okay? Rational right-winger. Oh, come on. You know the COVID conspiracies. I'm a rational right-winger. You know his ass got every vaccine, okay? That's what I mean. You motherfucker, you got every vaccine. Your children are vaccinated. You're vaccinated. Shut the fuck up, okay? Shut your bitch ass up. You got vaccinated like a motherfucker. You have more vaccines than I do, probably. The fuck do you mean? Oh, they remember the COVID conspiracies? Like, shut up, bitch. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Get out of here. There's a difference. Like Rupert Murdoch, for example, unleashed the faucet of anti-vax conspiracies. But I know for a fucking fact from people that were working at his goddamn vineyard that he sheltered himself away from public eye during COVID because he was so fucking terrified of dying to COVID. I know for a fact that motherfucker got all the vaccines. All of those rich right-wingers who run media empires, including Donald Trump, as a matter of fact, have gotten all the fucking vaccines. They just keep telling dumb fucks that want to hear anti-vaxxer sentiment that vaccines are bad. Okay? Turning Point Amfest Convention is getting ugly on night 2. Steve Bannon says Ben Shapiro was always jealous of Charlie Kirk and will try to take over TPUSA. Ben Shapiro's like a cancer, and that cancer spreads. Ooh, so good. Oh, my God. This is so fucking stupid. Oh, this is exactly it. Oh, my God. All my wishes are coming true. Oh, it's so good. The girlies are fighting. Oh, I love this.
They are doing you a fundamental disservice, and they are making you stupider in the process. Finally, because it is our job.
RFK, probably the only guy who's not vaccinated in the admin. Yeah, RFK's a real one. He gets different kinds of vaccines, but and definitely experiments with peptides and shit, but he is not getting that COVID vax, okay? I do believe that he is not vaccinated.
To make the lives of our audience better, right? That's really our job, is to give you more information to make your lives better. We have a duty to propose solutions. That's why we have to talk about our problems in order to find the solutions. That's what politics was supposed to be about, after all, finding solutions to our common problems. If we speak endlessly about the problems we face, without ever positing a solution other than wrecking the system or centralizing power in a cult-like figure, we are not finding solutions. We are merely making problems worse. Just asking questions, positing vague conspiracies, raving like Alex Jones about the secret confederacies that control your life. None of it makes your life better. None of it. In fact, it makes your life markedly worse. That's because if you...
Brother, everything you're saying is at the heart of the conservative mindset. Everything that he's complaining about is like including some of the most prominent fixtures of the modern American right that he is directly attacking, or even like the first principles and common ways of organizing. It's like he is admonishing the entirety of the modern conservative movement while simultaneously claiming he is the one true guy who can lead them in the right path. Like, you're fucking shitting not just on Alex Jones, but on like, breaking the systems down and we need to find truth. Is like you've never done that. Okay, you've never done that. There's never been a moment in your life where you've ever done that.
You truly come to believe that nothing in your life is in your control. You can't even take control of your own life. You despair of your ability to change your own circumstances, and then you fail. And you must not fail. Because here is the most fundamental truth of all in the United States. For all of its problems, many of which, a huge number of which, are real and serious, the United States is still the greatest bit of that begins with truth. We owe you that quest for truth. You owe yourselves that quest for truth. And true victory only Constitution ever devised by man. Thanks so much. Happy to take a couple questions.
I have a
Half the fucking people are just like literally doing the Alex Jones Jew questioning, which is not even a question at all, for the record, from this point on. At least the stuff that I saw. You know the video I'm talking about with Alex Jones? That's basically the TPOSA conference questionnaire. And they get really, the Groyper that asks them questions are so, like, they get so excited. They're so dumb. For the record, Ben Shapiro does actually handle the USS Liberty thing pretty well. You know, I will give him that. He actually handled it better than Charlie Kirk did. When Charlie Kirk used to be faced with that question, Charlie Kirk would be like, that's a conspiracy, and we don't entertain conspiracy theories at Turning Point USA. At least Ben has like an actual argument to be like, it was a mistake. Israel had no idea that it was an American vessel. And after the first barrage of fire, the flags fell off the ship. And that's why they kept firing and kept killing the American Navy people. Oh yeah, this is the clip that was talking about.
Labeling Jew.
That's the TPUSA conference Ben Shapiro questionnaire part. Okay, that's literally that. Straight up.
Truth as the most important tenet of American conservatism. Why, therefore, did you call irrelevant the Israeli attack in 1967 on the USS Liberty, which left dozens of American servicemen dead and hundreds?
I can sense his like nervousness. Come on, Groyper. Aren't you the master race? Like, you can't be this afraid of a 5'4" Jewish man, right? If you're the master race, you cannot be that afraid. Here, this is a better video of the incident because the other one, the audio is too low.
The USS Liberty, which left dozens of American servicemen dead and hundreds wounded.
So what I actually said is that if we're looking at modern Israeli-American relations, looking at an attack that happened mistakenly by multiple Navy reports, multiple Israeli reports, and all available evidence, and using that attack in order to undermine today's relations between Israel and America, that's irrelevant. As irrelevant as it would be to cite a piece of evidence from World War II or from 1776 to define America's relations with, for example, Great Britain or Germany today.
Yeah, totally. Because Israel overextending Israel routinely overextending its hand is not commonplace. Is still to this day. You're right, Ben. This is an idiotic counter, right? Now, it's an idiotic counter because, like, England is America's blood boy at this point. Okay. Obviously, the dynamic has changed dramatically. But with Israel and America, the allegiance has worsened. Like, the Israeli side in this ongoing relationship has demanded more and more and given back less, and has routinely done stuff that is at odds with the interests of American citizens, literally killing American citizens, not just killing American soldiers, but just American civilians with regular frequency. So, of course, this counter this counter comparison between like England and America and the dynamic between the two is idiotic. It's ridiculous.
That does not mean that the attack wasn't horrible for the Americans involved, that it wasn't bloody and terrible. The Israeli government paid reparations to the people who were killed. If you look at the actual military record of what happened on the USS Liberty.
And that's the reason why the Groyper actually doesn't have a really good response to what Ben Shapiro is saying, because the Groyper is there to simply go like this.
Chew on every.
And that's the reason why he fails in responding to Ben Shapiro, because that's his goal. His goal isn't to like actually, he doesn't have like a fully fleshed out worldview here. He hasn't really fully comprehended why this allegiance between Israel and America is damaging beyond like what, 12 of our best Navy soldiers were killed in 1967. You sound like a fucking moron. That's a mere, that's a simple example of the continued dynamic that has only worsened throughout time. Okay. Your anti-Zionism, if it's not genuine, if it's simply a vehicle to launch anti-Semitic attacks, is always going to fall short in front of someone like Ben Shapiro. Did you say Israel killed Americans? When? Plenty of Americans have been killed, both in the West Bank and also in Gaza since October 7. There are very notorious incidents of supposed peacetime American slayings in the hands of Israel as well, like Rachel Corrie and whatnot. But Israel arrests American citizens. Israel kills American citizens all the time. High-profile ones, as well as, dual citizens who have Palestinian citizenship as well, or even directly American citizens.
It was clearly a mistaken and tragic attack. The people who frequently cite the USS Liberty, however, are not
I thought Rachel was Irish. No, Rachel Corrie is not Irish. What are you talking about? She's from fucking Washington.
talking about the specifics of the USS Liberty. I suspect that the vast majority of people who bring this up are doing so in order to suggest that Israel deliberately attacked an American ship because Israel
did deliberately attack USS Liberty. For the record, 100%. They did. Anyway, let's continue.
Deliberately wants to harm America. It is connected generally with...
Israel, what's next? You mean to tell me Israel deliberately ran Rachel Corrie, an American citizen from Washington State, over with a bulldozer? What's next? Wow. What's next? Israel deliberately shot in the neck famous American Palestinian reporter, Shireen Abu Akleh? Wow, that's so crazy. At a certain point, you start realizing maybe they are deliberately doing this, actually. Yeah, they did, actually. They did do that deliberately.
A larger point. I wonder if that's your point.
If the truth matters.
What was the motivation for attacking USS Liberty? I'm just new to that story. I think it was the Americans surveilling Israeli activity without... it was Americans surveilling Israeli activity, and they did not want that. As they were about to, no, not a false flag. The two prevailing theories is either that they wanted to hide what they were about to do against the American interests, and therefore they, in 1967, before they blew up. I think it was before they blew up the Egyptian Air Force, right? Or before they moved on, was it before they moved on the Golan Heights? It's either that or the other argument, the other theory is that they wanted to do a false flag and then make it seem as though someone else had blown up the American ship. But I don't think the false flag one is that. I don't think the false flag argument holds a lot of weight because they didn't even blow up the ship. There were plenty of survivors. If you wanted to do if you wanted to do a false flag, you'd probably have to blow up the entire ship and make sure that there were no survivors remaining. That doesn't matter what? No, that way they can actually have plausible deniability, and that way they can claim that it wasn't them that blew up the American ship. Israel's argument is that they thought, Israel's argument was they thought it was an Egyptian ship, which was bullshit.
Then the Israeli government
the
must
American
be held
government
accountable for that.
The American government did also literally hide the incident and also go along with the Israeli conspiracy.
Attack. The
Israeli
American
narrative.
flag was flying on that ship. You do not mistake an American ship for a foreign one when our flag is flying.
So, and we can spend the rest of the time talking about the specifics of the U.S. Liberty attack, or you can actually go look at the naval investigations that were done, multiple naval investigations that were done. The reality is that people were flying Mirage planes for the Israeli military at the time. The USS Liberty was sailing in an area where it had essentially gone off-grid. The Israeli military mistook it for an Egyptian ship.
Yeah. See? Look. The USS Liberty. Hey, by the way, Ben doesn't place Israel's interests over the interests of America, okay? The American ship was off grid where it wasn't supposed to be. It was where it wasn't supposed to be. Oh, really? That's so interesting, Ben. Oh, did they apologize to poor Israel for having the ship get blown up? The fuck do you mean the American ship was off grid and wasn't sailing in the waters that it was supposed to be? It's the fucking American Navy, dumbass. The fuck are you talking about?
They thought it was shelling Al Arish, which happened not to be true. In the initial attack, the American flag was knocked down, and then the attack went on for about 90 minutes. And then as soon, you can hear this, by the way, on the tapes of the Israeli pilots talking to each other. As soon as they realize that it's an American ship, they call off the attack. They speed a ship to try and help the USS Liberty. There have been multiple unfortunate friendly fire incidents between Allied forces, including, for example, in the Gulf War, where U.S. forces were responsible for killing about 9 British troops during the Gulf War. It's an unfortunate reality of war, but...
Yeah, notice how it's the Americans doing that. Nobody does it to us. We're the big dogs. We do it to others. If you're a right winger and you hear this, you're supposed to be like, yeah, okay, we did that. The fuck is England gonna do? You know what I mean? But in Ben's attitude, in Ben's mentality, it's just, you know, with the way that he's talking about this incident, he's like, well, you know, Israel lasered the U.S. Navy ship. And they felt really bad right after.
You're not answering my question, which is, what is your broader agenda in asking the question? Because I suspect that your question is not limited to your specific ire over an incident that happened in 1967.
I think we should question any foreign country's relationship with our government.
That's totally fine.
Yeah, he flubs it because you don't have your heart in it. He gave you a couple like fast paced. He did the Ben Shapiro technique of just like spitting some shit in your face real fast, and you got destroyed. You lost your confidence. You already had no confidence.
Again, I'm perfectly fine with questioning any country's relationship with the United States. But again, I'm wondering what your motivation is in bringing up a 6-decade-old attack as though it is the...
Because it's a continuation of the same exact dynamic that plays itself out with Israel greatly overextending his hand. And here, I'll give you the fucking Groyper position better than this Groyper. Okay? The Groyper position on this is supposed to be that organized Jewry puts its own interests over the interests of regular American Christians. Okay, regular American Christians would do better not to wage war in the fucking region and develop so much enmity back to the United States of America because we're basically playing the role of a goy slop or goy cattle for the Jews. Like that would be the fucking the better Groyper argument, you know? This guy doesn't even have a good Groyper counter argument ready to go. What the fuck are you doing? Pathetic. I can't believe I fucking lost anti-Semitism of the anti-Semite of the year last year to fucking Candace Owens. Bullshit. I could out-meet all these motherfuckers, dude. All right, bro, you don't got to the Hitler Youth pointers. I mean, they're having a Hitler off right now. Anyway, he just goes, foreign policy or foreign intervention from Israel.
Number one issue in assessing the relationship between Israel and the United States today.
Well, many problems.
That literally is just another example of how Israel overextends the allegiance that is supposed to be at the behest of American interests in the region. That's one example. It's a perfectly valid example to bring up. It's not about like honoring the dead or demanding some sort of like reparations for those who were slain or whatever. It's just, if Israel is supposed to be an imperial vassal state, a settler colony, it can't fucking lash back out at the big dog in the equation. It's ridiculous. And no other country gets to have this privilege that Israel does.
Persists to this day, but it's interesting that you say 6-decade-old incident when there are many people in this audience who are alive for that attack, as if this is something that's irrelevant.
Well, no, it's just not particularly relevant to assessing the relationship between the United States and Israel today, in the same way that in 1967, there are a wide variety of countries with which the United States had different relations. Okay, it's clear you're not going to actually answer the question, so I'm happy to move to this one.
Unfortunately, this will be the last question.
Damn. That's it? One Israel question and they move on? That's crazy. He didn't even do a decent enough answer. So, okay, it's the same shit. The Talmud is not even supposed to be like read and interpreted in the way that you would read the Torah, for example, or the way that you would read the Bible. It's supposed to be debated. Right? It's just like arguments. It's ancient arguments written by people with very, very different perspectives and very different opinions on the same issues even at the time. And it's not even supposed to be like, it's not even supposed to be read as is and then followed as a code of conduct, as far as I understand. Not only that, but also the average Jewish person has no fucking idea what's in the Talmud. Okay? But anti-Semites will get so invested in shitting on Jewish people that they literally will learn about like deep Jewish lore in the same way that transphobic people will know about the latest and greatest of trans tech, like medical technology and like trans culture in general, before the average trans person knows about it. Like as soon as there's a new lore drop, transphobes are right there. They know everything about it. They're talking about it. They're talking about how like how this is mass adopted, how it's going to destroy Western civilization, all this shit, before trans people even know what the fuck they're talking about. And it comes from a place of like this pathological obsession. Okay? That's what it reminds me of. Like people who just like study shit that the you know, average Jew has no fucking clue about and make it seem like this is a formative text. She holds up a copy of the Talmudic Jew, a book by August Röhrling, a notorious Jew hater whose work relies on mistranslations, selective quotations, and outright fabrication to portray Judaism and the Talmud as inherently immoral and hostile towards non-Jews. The Talmudic Jew is a polemical attack designed to promote collective guilt and conspiracy thinking about Jews. It was widely discredited during Rowling's lifetime. What Candace says in this video are core components of historic and modern neo-Nazi ideology, particularly the long-standing trope that the Talmud functions as a secret rule book governing Jewish behavior towards non-Jews. This rhetoric has been used by anti-Semites and neo-Nazis for over a century to destroy the reputation of Jews and to radicalize people into committing violence against Jews. Candace invokes the idea of Jews as contract lords, a coded allegation that Jews control or dominate others through contracts and legal agreements. This does not mean contentious legal issues, but everyday legal agreements. This rhetoric appears frequently in neo-Nazi propaganda. She repeatedly says, she she repeatedly says, wake up, urging audiences to awaken the hidden truths about Jews, Judaism, and history. Wake up functions as a radicalization cue, signaling to the listener or viewer that they're being welcomed to the banned or suppressed information that they, Jews, do not want the public to know about. Can you talk more about Islamic jihad? Those are the same people that confuse jihad with jihad or drama riddled. This is fucking sick. They're all hitting one another, dude. It's awesome. Tucker goes up right after Ben and immediately is like, Ben Shapiro talking about deplatforming reminds me of my dog doing my taxes. Holy fuck, man. They are, whoo!
Charlie Kirk event. I'm like, what? This is hilarious. Yeah, this is hilarious. Actually, one of the clips I was listening to myself, thinking as I often do when I hear myself speak, which is never, because I never watch myself, but at these events, they always play like the role of you. And I'm like, that guy is pompous. Woo! Sorry about that. We don't see ourselves clearly. But the prediction that, at some point when Republicans took power again, which I did everything I could, to help, and really felt that was important. I still think, I was right. But I really thought that the impulse to deplatform people, or even to use the word platform as a verb, which it's not, it's a noun, don't steal my nouns, deplatform and denounce. Why haven't you denounced somebody else? The whole Red Guard cultural revolution thing that we so hated and feared on the left that we did everything we could to usher in a new time where you could have an actual debate. I mean, this kind of was the whole point of Charlie Kirk's public life. And I think that he died for it. I really believe that. And I know a lot about it because the last several months of Charlie's life were devoted in part to arguing about this event, in fact, this speech, in fact, my speech here.
Also, that's definitely bullshit. Like, a big part of what Charlie was doing was to try to stop the hemorrhaging. From all the fucking guys that love doing this. From going to Nick Fuentes. So no, there were plenty of people that were deplatformed, okay? Let's be real. God, I love that fucking video so much. It's funny because that's him actually shitting on the Nick Fuentes style people who say that Jews are responsible for everything. Which is really interesting because now Nick Fuentes is doing that to Candace Owens. Like, there's always a guy who's willing to blame the Jews on something new. And there's always a guy who will go, hold on, dude, we have to be smarter about our anti-Semitism. Why are you not being smart about your anti-Semitism? They're not responsible for everything.
Which he asked me to do earlier this year, this summer.
Oh, yeah, there was a Candace Owens response to Ben Shapiro as well. Before we move on to Tucker, I do want to show that. Laura Loomer also said, praising Ben Shapiro's speech isn't a Jewish thing. It's not even a conservative thing. It's a human decency and truth thing. Shut up. God, they are so fucking lame. Oh my God, it's so funny watching them try to be woke. They can't even be woke right, okay? This is a human decency thing.
Can we get out to her? What can we get out to her? We're going to sue her into bankruptcy again, right? Sue her for every infraction, every word that I don't like, and every time my feelings are hurt. Because what you really believe in is Baal Berith. That's what your people believe in. You believe that you are contract lords and that people are not allowed to violate contracts or you will ruin them for years.
Wait, what? Is she saying like Jews love contracts or something? Like what? I'm confused by what. I'm trying to understand what. What the fuck was that? She threw a fastball. I don't even.
You are contract lords.
Wait.
Is Baal Berith. That's what your people believe in.
Baal Berith? What does that mean? Fuck you, Ben Shapiro, and the midget horse you rode in on. Candace Owens responded to Ben Shapiro's speech at Turning Point USA mainlines unquestionable neo-Nazi propaganda, including dangerous Talmudic conspiracies. Keep in mind that every episode of Candace's show is viewed or downloaded millions of times. She says that Jews were responsible for and or dominated the Atlantic slave trade. This is false. That the Talmud says that Jews hate non-Jews. That the Talmud says Jews can exploit non-Jews. That non-Jews are animals. That non-Jews may be enslaved or owned. that deception of non-Jews is morally acceptable. Oh my God, she went full. She holds up a copy of the Talmudic Jew, a book by August Railing, a notorious Jew hater whose work relies on mistranslation, selective quotation, and outright fabrication. Dude, okay. Dude. You know what this reminds me of? Anti-Semites get so invested in hating Jews that they literally learn about shit that the average Jew has no fucking clue about, okay? The Talmud is one of these great examples. Talk to any regular-ass Jew in your life, okay? Or a random Jewish person that you encounter in the street. I mean, don't do that because they'll probably get freaked out. About if they know what they know what the Talmud is, but if it plays any role in their day-to-day existence, okay? This reminds me of when I learned about the concept of taqiyya as a Muslim who grew up in a Sunni Muslim country. For the first 18 years of my life, I had no idea what taqiyya was until I came to the United States of America and I heard it from a racist right-winger, a racist Islamophobic right-winger who was like, oh, you're practicing taqiyya. Okay? It's the same shit. The Talmud is not even supposed to be like read and interpreted in the way that you would read the Torah, for example, or the way that you would read the Bible. It's supposed to be debated, right? It's just like arguments. It's ancient arguments written by people with very, very different perspectives and very different opinions on the same issues even at the time. And it's not even supposed to be like, it's not even supposed to be read as is and then followed as a code of conduct, as far as I understand. Not only that, but also the average Jewish person has no fucking idea what's in the Talmud. Okay? But anti-Semites will get so invested in shitting on Jewish people that they literally will learn about like deep Jewish lore in the same way that transphobic people will know about the latest and greatest of trans tech, like medical technology and like trans culture in general, before the average trans person knows about it. Like as soon as there's a new lore drop, transphobes are right there. They know everything about it. They're talking about it. They're talking about how like how this is mass adopted, how it's going to destroy Western civilization, all this shit, before trans people even know what the fuck they're talking about. And it comes from a place of like this pathological obsession. Okay? That's what it reminds me of. Like people who just like study shit that the you know, average Jew has no fucking clue about and make it seem like this is a formative text. She holds up a copy of the Talmudic Jew, a book by August Railing, a notorious Jew hater whose work relies on mistranslations, selective quotations, and outright fabrication to portray Judaism and the Talmud as inherently immoral and hostile towards non-Jews. The Talmudic Jew is a polemical attack designed to promote collective guilt and conspiracy thinking about Jews. It was widely discredited during Rowling's lifetime. What Candace says in this video are core components of historic and modern neo-Nazi ideology, particularly the long-standing trope that the Talmud functions as a secret rule book governing Jewish behavior towards non-Jews. This rhetoric has been used by anti-Semites and neo-Nazis for over a century to destroy the reputation of Jews and to radicalize people into committing violence against Jews. Candace invokes the idea of Jews as contract lords, a coded allegation that Jews control or dominate others through contracts and legal agreements. This does not mean contentious legal issues, but everyday legal agreements. This rhetoric appears frequently in neo-Nazi propaganda. She repeatedly says, she repeatedly says, wake up, urging audiences to awaken the hidden truths about Jews, Judaism, and history. Wake up functions as a radicalization cue, signaling to the listener or viewer that they're being welcomed to the banned or suppressed information that they, Jews, do not want the public to know about. Can you talk more about Islamic jihad? Those are the same people that confuse jihad with jihad. I mean, yeah, it's I'm not even going to get into it, but yes, it's a group of people that Islamophobes are also the type of people that literally will like look at random surahs from the Quran, misunderstand it, and then make it their entire life's mission to be like, this is what you believe. Okay? This places Jews in roles of in the role of deceptive actors who are hiding the truth while making the listener and viewer
Somehow
feel
can't-
enlightened.
I am done with it. This one is so fully off of the mother effing plantation. Truly, Ben Shapiro, fuck you and the midget horse that you rode in on. And I say that on behalf of the world. I know you're going to get applauded by Konstantin Kisin and Andrew Christ is King Clavin and all of the people, the men who have to keep applauding what you do like you're a 4-year-old to make you feel good. But the rest of the world can't stand you. You're obnoxious.
The Talmud has some wild stuff in it, but it literally was just first asking questions, but actually meant it. Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. Have you never spoken to a Jewish person before? Like, that's my... Yeah, it's not a real fucking guiding... it's not a real thing that guides everyday Jews in their day-to-day existence. Jews can lie to Goyim, though. Okay, dude, sure. Yeah, everyone can lie to everybody. I don't think that's like what religious doctrine do people actually follow to a T? Okay, if you're saying this, and let's say you're a fucking Christian, for example, do you follow all the Christian doctrine to a T? Like, do you think Jews are they otherwise would never lie? Is that what you're saying? Like, it's allowed in their religion. The Talmud says it's allowed. It's so fucking stupid. Motherfucker sitting here with mixed fabrics talking shit. Reminder that Groyper's mocked Candace Owens for being too primitive in her anti-Semitism. No, I think after this, I think this was Candace's play to fucking eat away more at Nick Fuentes' base, by the way.
You have absolutely no values that exist outside of the Talmud. You describe yourself as a Talmudic Jew, and I've learned what's in that Talmud, and I encourage other people at home to learn what is in that Talmud so that you know what Ben thinks of you, because he doesn't just hate me, he hates you too, white men. He hates all black people, okay? If he's following the rules of the Talmud, I mean, when I say hates, they think that we're animals, that they have a right to own us, that they have a right to make us worship them, that they have a right to lie to us, that they have a right to sue us and take everything that we have, that they have a right to deceive us, that they have a right to treat Charlie the way...
Yeah, no, I get why she beat my ass for anti-Semite of the year. Let's be real. Like, okay, fair is fair. Fair is fair, because this is crazy, okay? She clears me. She clears me. She is alting. The same accusations were made against Catholics is like saying every Catholic knows and follows every papal bull of 2,000 years law. I know, it's so fucking stupid. The problem is anti-Semites are dumb enough to believe it, and there are a lot of them, and they're growing in numbers. And this is like a secret new information for them. You know what I mean? And millions of people watched her live stream. This is from earlier today. This is what psychos on Twitter think you be spitting daily. No, I think psychos on Twitter, no, I don't do that. They're fucking... This is... Kahanis would unironically agree with her, though. Okay, fair, but they're Kahanas. Yes. They're the maximum Jewish supremacist fascists, so there's not a thing, you know? Yeah, no shit.
That he treated Charlie while he was alive, only to then try to defraud the population into thinking that he is somehow a part of his legacy, that he somehow cared about Charlie Kirk and cares to protect the people that...
What's a Kahanis? Followers of Meyer Kahan, who is he's a Jewish Nazi. Like, I don't know how else to describe it other than just like a straight up maximum Jewish supremacist Nazi. And the thing is, there are more and more people who basically follow his worldview nowadays in Israel. They'll say that's not the case, but the attitudes that you see. You know how when people say, I mean, he's dead as fuck, yes, but it doesn't matter. You know how when people say, oh, dude, the translate from Hebrew function has really like redefined the genre of seeing Hitlerian text in 2025. The accounts that used to, the Holocaust that took place for the past 2 fucking years. So they're completely aligned on pretty much everything. But the only reason why Nick Fuentes is growing in prominence is because he can present himself as being on the right side of this pivotal fucking issue. And the faster people realize that and immediately stop fucking defending Israel and immediately come to terms with the fucking reality that's taking place in front of their eyes, the faster we can rid ourselves of this fucking Nazi scourge. But because Democrats refuse to reckon with this reality and think that there is like some kind of marginal incremental change position that they can take, some kind of liberal Zionist position that'll be enough, they keep losing to the Marjorie Taylor Greens of the world. They keep losing to the Nick Fuenteses of the world. Okay? I support neither. Both are Nazis and Nick is way more dangerous. No one watches Ben anymore at Lamau. Yes, Nick can fool idiots by blaming everything on Jews in Israel, becoming obsessed with Israel's idiocy. Both are bad. Nick and Ben both. Yeah, okay, so you do fucking agree with me. What the hell are you talking about? Okay, now you understand my fear. Now you understand my argument. Now you understand my resentment. Okay? Ben Shapiro, for decades with his commentary, basically made it impossible for there not to be a Nick Fuentes, okay? He designed this environment so that there was a fucking inevitability of Nick Fuentes. And now that Nick Fuentes is here, you still turn around and you go, well, one's a Nazi, the other one's a liberal Zionist. First of all, he's not a liberal Zionist, okay? Or not just like a regular Zionist. He's a conservative ultra-Zionist, okay? What is this? Ethan is gone and saying he should oppose Nazis like Asman, not support them, except Asman. I was the same, Asman. Nazis are way worse and more hateful and harmful than you. You think Asmongold opposes Nazis? The fuck are you talking about? Brother, you might be... Also, fuck Asmongold, who's a Nazi too. Okay, good. That's a big change from the 2 days, but... But that's it. I'm anti-pedophilia and anti-Nazi unconditionally, okay? Whichever form that may take, I am going to be against it. Do you understand? It's probably, it's you know, the biggest reason for why I have so many fucking haters. I know we've lost our fucking minds in American discourse in 2025, but, you know, those are some key principles here that I will always abide by.
Him. He knew that Nick Fuentes is an evil troll, and that building him up is an act of moral imbecility. And that is precisely what Tucker Carlson did. He built Nick Fuentes up. And he ought to take responsibility for that, just as he ought to take responsibility for glazing pornographer and alleged sex trafficker Andrew Tate, or for mainstreaming fake historian and pseudo-Nazi apologist Daryl Cooper as America's best and most honest popular historian. Hosts are indeed responsible for the guests.
You do understand, like, now he's making a fucking platforming argument. This is just a woke argument, you know? He's just woke. Ben Shapiro is just woke. And from the perspective of a right-wing audience, he's just anti-woke for everybody and woke for Jews, okay? This is not going to work. There is no intellectual honesty or consistency here unless you do think everyone else should be that way, where you can, every other marginalized identity is fair play, fair game. You can do whatever the fuck you want, except for Jewish people.
They choose and the questions they ask those guests. Fourth,
Chat, please. Hasanabi has been diagnosed with high blood pressure, and every inflammatory troll in chat is a direct attack on his arteries. This is a leftist-based practice, harm reduction, and stop stress posting. What the fuck?
because we have a duty to truth, we also have a duty to provide you with evidence of the claims that we make. Emotive accusations, conspiracy theories, and just asking questions, that's lazy and stupid and misleading. None of them are a substitute for truth. None of them are a substitute for evidence. So, when Candace Owens says, I don't know, but I know, that is retarded. And we are all more retarded for having heard it. When Steve Bannon, for example, accuses his foreign policy opponents of loyalty to a foreign country, he's not actually making an argument based in evidence. He's simply maligning people that he disagrees with.
Wait, I'm sorry. Hold on. Ben. I mean, like, there are plenty of people that, like, if you see like a random Jewish person walking down the street and automatically assume, in the United States of America, by the way, in this hypothetical, you automatically assume they care more about Israel than they do America, that's anti-Semitic. Okay? Ben Shapiro is not a random Jewish person walking down the street. We have 15 to 20 years of his commentary that we can just look back at to try to figure out whether he is, where his loyalty is. Okay? That's it. That's it. That's fucking ridiculous. He can try and present this as an argument from American supremacy all day, every day that he wants to. He could just be like, oh, well, actually, the reason why I'm so pro-Israel is because Israel's America's most valuable ally. But like, kind of feels like you really love Israel, Ben, and have for most of your career, for your entire career. Who could forget in 2012 when Ben Shapiro famously wrote the article, "Transfer is not a dirty word," okay, in which he advocated for the complete ethnic cleansing of all Palestinians from the greater Israeli land that, was promised to Israel 3,000 years ago. He said those things. He wrote those things. So he's been doing stuff like this for quite a while, okay? What the fuck did that have anything to do with America, Ben? What's up with that?
Which is indeed par for the course from a man who was once a PR flag for Jeffrey Epstein. Check the record. Our duty to provide you evidence means we actually have to do much more than just ask questions. Just asking questions is something my 5-year-old does, and it's really cute when it comes from my 5-year-old. But when grown men and women spend their days just asking questions without, seeking answers, they are lying to you. In fact, they're doing something even worse. They are seeding distrust in the world around you, and they are enervating you in the process. So, for example, if many speakers, including Tucker Carlson and others, get on stage here at TV USA and claim, without proper evidence, that Jeffrey Epstein was running a Mossad rape ring being covered up by the Trump administration, they are not...
Oh, come on. Come on, Ben. Look, this is the problem, okay? Saying Nick Fuentes is an anti-Semite is totally valid. It's something that I think Nick Fuentes himself will openly agree to, right? Depending on, which company he's around. But when you fucking turn around and go, oh, I can't believe you guys are connecting Jeffrey Epstein to Israel and Mossad. Oh, that's anti-Semitism. This is the main fucking problem with a lot of Zionists who have diluted the actual bigotry of anti-Semitism with idiotic conspiracies or with idiotic statements that are valid and people can fucking see, idiotic defenses of factually based analysis that people can fucking see and experience their own two goddamn eyes, no matter how stupid they are, okay? You cannot turn around and say, oh, I can't believe that people are accusing me of being loyal to Israel. Wrong. People absolutely can do that, and it's not anti-Semitic for Ben Shapiro, okay? You can't turn around and say, I can't believe people are actually fucking saying that Jeffrey Epstein was a Mossad asset. Wrong. People can't say that. If you call that anti-Semitic, people are going to look at you and laugh. And last but not least, Yeah, Charlie Kirk himself had made the Jeffrey Epstein Mossad connection before he died, by the way. So that's another thing, even though Charlie Kirk was obviously still glazing Donald Trump and decided to drop the whole Jeffrey Epstein stuff, famously. Okay. But this reminds me of the classic take from Zionists want to defend Israel, right? The classic take always where we would see just mountains of children piled up, murdered, slaughtered by Israel every fucking day, pretty much. Parents. She clears me. She is alting. The same accusations were made against Catholics is like saying every Catholic knows and follows every papal bull of 2,000 years law. I know, it's so fucking stupid. The problem is anti-Semites are dumb enough to believe it, and there are a lot of them, and they're growing in numbers. And this is like a secret new information for them. You know what I mean? And millions of people watched her live stream. This is from earlier today. This is what psychos on Twitter think you be spitting daily. No, I think psychos on Twitter. No, I don't do that. They're fucking. This is. Kahanis would unironically agree with her, though. Okay, fair, but they're Kahanas. Yes. They're the maximum Jewish supremacist fascists, so there's not a thing, you know? Yeah, no shit.
That he treated Charlie while he was alive, only to then try to defraud the population into thinking.
I mean, yeah, it's I'm not even going to get into it, but yes, it's a group of people that Islamophobes are also the type of people that literally will like look at random surahs from the Quran, misunderstand it, and then make it their entire life's mission to be like, this is what you believe. Okay? This places Jews in the role of deceptive actors who are hiding the truth while making the listener and viewer feel enlightened.
I am done with it. This one is so fully off of the mother effing plantation. Truly, Ben Shapiro, fuck you and the midget horse that you rode in on. And I say that on behalf of the world. I know you're going to get applauded by Konstantin Kisin and Andrew Christ is King Clavin and all of the people, the men who have to keep applauding what you do like you're a 4-year-old to make you feel good. But the rest of the world can't stand you. You're obnoxious.
The Talmud has some wild stuff in it, but it literally was just first asking questions, but actually meant it. Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. Have you never spoken to a Jewish person before? Like, that's my... Yeah, it's not a real fucking guiding... it's not a real thing that guides everyday Jews in their day-to-day existence. Jews can lie to Goyim, though. Okay, dude, sure. Yeah, everyone can lie to everybody. I don't think that's like what religious doctrine do people actually follow to a T? Okay, if you're saying this, and let's say you're a fucking Christian, for example, do you follow all the Christian doctrine to a T? Like, do you think Jews are they otherwise would never lie? Is that what you're saying? Like, it's allowed in their religion. The Talmud says it's allowed. It's so fucking stupid. Motherfucker sitting here with mixed fabrics talking shit. Reminder that Groyper's mocked Candace Owens for being too primitive in her anti-Semitism. No, I think after this, this was Candace's play to fucking eat away more at Nick Fuentes' base, by the way.
You have absolutely no values that exist outside of the Talmud. You describe yourself as a Talmudic Jew. And I've learned what's in that Talmud, and I encourage other people at home to learn what is in that Talmud so that you know what Ben thinks of you, because he doesn't just hate me, he hates you too, white men. He hates all black people, okay? If he's following the rules of the Talmud, I mean, when I say hates, they think that we're animals. that they have a right to own us, that they have a right to make us worship them, that they have a right to lie to us, that they have a right to sue us and take everything that we have, that they have a right to deceive us, that they have a right to treat Charlie the way.
Yeah, no, I get why she beat my ass for anti-Semite of the year. Let's be real. Like, okay, fair is fair. Fair is fair, because this is crazy. Okay?
That he is somehow a part of his legacy, that he somehow cared about Charlie Kirk and cares to protect the people that.
What's a Kahanis? Followers of Meir Kahan, who is he's a Jewish Nazi. Like, I don't know how else to describe it other than just like a straight up maximum Jewish supremacist Nazi. And the thing is, there are more and more people who basically follow his worldview nowadays in Israel. They'll say that's not the case, but the attitudes that you see, you know how when people say, I mean, he's dead as fuck, yes, but it doesn't matter. You know how when people say, oh, dude, the translate from Hebrew function has really like redefined the genre of seeing Hitlerian text in 2025. The accounts that used to call themselves like liberal Zionists that write shit like that are the ones that have now become basically like Kahanis. It's obviously still not the norm. But I mean, Ben Gvir and Bezalel Smotrich and numerous people in the Israeli Knesset and especially the younger generations of Orthodox Jews growing up in Israel, specifically a lot of the settlers, they're firmly Kahanis. Yeah, Michael Rappaport had videos getting people to say Kahan was right. Like, it's just, I guess it's kind of like people don't know what it is. People are not very familiar with it. And this also benefits Nazis a little bit too, because like that's the reason why if you ever see like a neo-Nazi post a video, if you ever see like a neo-Nazi post like the same like fucking Vaseline lens filtered Orthodox guy sitting in a fucking basement talking about how the Goyim are cattle, like those are Kahanis. And then they'll be like, this is what all the Jews believe. Those are like the fucking, the clan, but Jewish.
That are working at Turning Point USA. Goodbye, Ben. Goodbye. The question is, how much more money is Ben Shapiro going to spend to make people think that he's popular? How many more articles is his father going to write under a pen name, Hank Berrien of the Daily Wire, under the pen name Hank Berrien, as he wrote while Ben was at Breitbart, before he turned his back and betrayed them too, because that is his nature. He's one of these belly creatures, sliver on. The question is, how many more weeks and years do we have to keep pretending like Ben Shapiro is relevant? It's an open-ended question. Of course, what followed Ben Shapiro on stage is somebody who Charlie Kirk loved very much and who he fought for to the very end against the Jewish donors who were pressuring him, some of them because Ben Shapiro insisted that they do. That is Charlie Kirk's true legacy, and that is Charlie Kirk's true friend, just as I was and am and will continue to fight and ask questions about who killed Charlie Kirk. And to people that are at home, I implore you to wake up to these people who believe that they are contract lords. I challenge Black Americans to wake up to your true history, because your quarrel is not with white men.
All of the RSBN live stream of her Turning Point was on our side during the conference, like 75-25 for her, is crazy.